Hey, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Jim Wilson's FNN Fishing News Network. Today coming to you from Captain Anderson's Marina, and we just can't wait because October 1st we'll be seeing the opening of a limited red snapper season, and it'll be opening both in state and federal waters, and we're going to have a special guest, Pam Anderson, on with us this morning to tell us about things that are going on at the marina here. But bringing you up to date, I talked to Scott Lindsay. He says he's been getting some good flounder reports from people fishing just offshore on some of the offshore wrecks. And of course, the best baits are always going to be live bait, either bull minnows or if you get finger mullet or something like that, or jigs and grubs and so forth. But they'll also be moving out of the bay now, and a lot of good fishing areas right around Redfish Point, for example. I know one, Bill Hastings is one of the top flounder guys around here. He works down at Howell Tackle, and Bill will be going up and starting up in West Bay, fishing in between those docks as he goes right along, using grubs. And when you get one of the newer grubs that are seasoned and flavored and fish slow, one of the biggest problems that people have fishing for flounder is they'll cast and it looks like they're fishing for Spanish mackerel. Every time you move that 7-foot rod that far, you jerk that bait about 6 or 7 feet. No flounder swims that fast. You inch it, just barely twitch it, because the flounder will pick it up and you'll know you've got a hit. When they hit it and grab it, that's when you set the hook. And speaking of setting the hook, let's see what the tides are going to be doing today to help us out to fish on the right tide, because that's always an important move. Now, I've also been getting some good reports on redfish all around, and talked to one of my neighbors. He was up fishing under the Hathaway Bridge from that little walkway and caught 3 nice redfish using live bait, just fishing right off that little walkway. So we know they're here, and we know the time is coming, and as we move into this season, we're also going to be getting a good run of cigar minnows. That brings in the king mackerel. And don't be one of those people that says, king mackerel, they're nasty. I want a king mackerel. When you properly fillet it, debone it, and cook it right, you will have a delicious white flaky fish, and it'll be worthwhile, and you'll be very glad you learned how to eat king mackerel. Probably going to have some bluefish coming around, and blackfin tuna will be mixed in. So we're looking forward to, and look at the weather, how it's finally starting to change. Let's hope we get into this pattern. Down with the wind, out with the sun, gone with the rain. Wouldn't that really be good if that could be going on? Because that would give us an opportunity to have some really good fishing days. We're starting to see the water clear up, and we certainly are looking for this next red snapper season. It's so crazy, though. We're going to talk a little bit with Pam Anderson when she comes on about how nymphs, you know, the guy down there, the king crab pulling those levers, taking charge of everything, even though he knows that data is absolute. It's about like somebody going out to dig for gold with a secret map. And they're not always that successful, but that's the way it is, and that's what we have to live with. And of course, as you all know, I do all the cooking in our house and all the grocery shopping, and I follow my lesson plan every day, whatever Pat leaves for me. And it tells me exactly how my day is going to be planned and what I'll be doing. And at night, I do the cooking, and I don't do a day of cooking without fresh vegetables from Tanya's garden. This past week, Pat was gone for a few days, and I went over to one of my neighbors, and we cooked out over there, and I brought fresh corn on the cob, fresh peas, and all kinds of good veggies. And they're all available right now at Tanya's, and she's right across the street from Sowell Tractor on Highway 77, just north of the mall and before you get to Haney Vocational School. Go see Tanya, bring the kids and see that crazy menagerie she has out there. And of course, I can't forget about my good friends down at Austin Machine Works, AMW Trailers. I'm finally getting over some of my medical problems. I'll be picking up my new flat end canoe and with my little 2-horsepower Johnson motor on it, and I'll be ready for flounder and some speckled trout and redfish around the bays. So drop in and see them. They're down in there in Millville, and downtown Millville on Business 98. You can't miss the big blue building down there. And our good friends, I just talked to Wendy Atkinson up at AC Service, and they are busy now because winter's coming and folks are realizing they've got to have air conditioning and heat ready to go, because we're going to be in that position pretty soon where you're switching day after day. You don't know which it's going to be. You don't want to wait till the last minute. But if you call AC Service, they will be there immediately. They have trucks on the road, and they've been there a long time. They're wonderful people, and give them a shot, and you'll be happy that you joined them and had them come over and give you a bid, especially if you have to put in a new system. So AC Service, 522-4055, 522-4055. Stay with us. We're coming back right now for the rest of Jim Wilson's FNN Fishing News Network.
For everything you need on or off the water, visit the Panama City and St. Andrews Marinas. Both locations provide you with easy access boat slips, ramps, fuel, bait, and tackle. Come visit our ship stores and see our unique nautical gifts and clothing, or just relax with a cool drink and grab a snack while watching the boats come in.
Don't forget that mariner on your shopping list. Come by and see our unique nautical gifts, cards, and clothing at Panama City or St. Andrews Marina. Call 872-7272 for more information.
Meet Henson Hindenburg, king of the road at Baytown Tire, 2609 West 15th Street, just before the curve. For 20 years, he's taken care of your cars, trucks, and commercial vehicles. Baytown Tire carries tires including Michelin, Yokohama, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal. A new set gets free rotation every 6 months. Alignment is done on the latest digital equipment, and his diagnostic can read all your computer info for proper repairs. All his service folks are ASE certified. Give him a call today at 873-8900.
How will the new healthcare regulations affect you? Call Mike Nichols at Nichols & Associates, your local Florida Blue agency for the answers. Stop by today or call 747-0288.
Need a storage shed, pole barn, or garage? Who do you call? Two-time site-built buildings. They come completely prefabbed with aluminum siding and 3/4-inch floors. Constructed on your property by James McConnell and his crew. With no middleman, his prices is lower, and with easy payment terms. Here's my 12-foot by 20-foot shed that went through a 3-foot gate and anchored like a mobile home. He's been building here for 15 years. See the samples at 3822 Highway 98 in Springfield, and call today at 850-257-5729. When you want your lawn to go from this to this, you need to call Leroy Dennis and his helper Bill Grimes. They can do it in one day. Not only that, but Leroy offers discounts to seniors and active and former military. He and his partner can handle any commercial jobs. Don't wait to give them a call at 358-6696. Guess what? If you aren't satisfied, I'll pay for it myself. Don't delay. Call the experts now and look great tomorrow. Pam Anderson, it's always such a pleasure to be out here and have a chance to talk with you about what's going on at Captain Anderson's Marina, because this is the #1 place for fishing in Bay County, Panama City, anywhere between here and Destin.
Well, thank you. It's very nice to be here.
And what's your position?
Well, at the marina, I'm the operations manager.
Right.
And then, of course, you know, my husband and I have the Lady Anderson, and right now I'm president of the Lady Anderson,
well,
that corporation.
Fairly soon you're going to be the past president.
I am.
I talked to you earlier this morning about our condolences to the passing of your mother.
Thank you.
Passed away a month or so ago. And now we're talking about one of your other close family members.
Yes, I know.
Do you know when the keel was laid for the Lady Anderson and where?
The Lady Anderson, well, Freeport Shipbuilding
really?
built it just up in Freeport, very close to us. They built it in 1992, and it was put into operation in July of '93.
Wow. And but Freeport's not on the water, are they?
They have a little creek up there, large enough to launch boats.
Oh, they do?
Yes.
And they get them down to the Gulf?
Yes.
I didn't know that. That's really fascinating. How long is it?
How long? 135 feet.
Yeah, and your passenger, how many people can it take?
Originally 500 passengers. When they made the adjustments, a couple of years ago, went to 432.
And that was when some brilliant person in the Coast Guard figured that people had gotten heavier.
Yeah, yep. I guess a few of us have gotten heavier, so they decided to change the rule.
Oh my God! You know, it's too bad I couldn't have given them some of the video of all the trips I've been on your fishing adventures, because you can obviously see that we have people from my size down to this size.
Yes, but they have to be cautious.
Oh, I know. Well, tell me this. With all these changes of seasons, are you starting to get booked up now for the October 1st openings?
For red snapper, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. We are getting a lot of calls. You know, as soon as the information went out, our regular customers have been asking since mid-August about the October season, since that was supposed to be the time that we received the information one way or the other about the 21-day season. And of course, things have changed. They said we overfished, and according to new data, that we overfished in June. So they cut that 21 days in federal waters down to 14 days. But state still is open for the full 21.
But you know, here's the thing. You and I have talked about it before. The quota is based on pounds.
Yes.
But then they decide how many fish you're going to have based on the average weight.
Right.
And so, what did you say our average weight is going out of here and around?
Well, in Florida, the average weight is somewhere between 5.5 pounds or so, maybe 6, depending. We haven't seen the data for this year, but the overall weight of the average fish in the Gulf, which is what the regulations are determined by, that's 8 pounds. And so it does affect us in Florida.
Yes, I understand that, and we have something called the Magnuson Act that
Yes.
most people don't know about, that says that nymphs, I'll be nice and say Dr. Crabtree, uses the best available data, which, as we know, is about as bad as it can be. When is that going to change?
Well, because the National Research Center in Washington said that what they called MRFs data originally was not intended to be used for stock assessments and regulations. It was supposed to be used to have trends. They changed the data collection program and devised the Marine Recreational Information Program, which is we call MRIP, and the MRIP program has just started, being implemented. So when that was implemented, they came out with the information in August, telling us that. It shows that we have overfished this year, according to the new data, by 3 million pounds.
Absurd.
And so it's that was based according to the number of folks that they said were fishing in the Gulf during mainly the June season. So we know that there were not as many fishing in the Gulf in the June season. So if their program shows that, then there are some large adjustments that need to be made.
Exactly.
And so they've sent that back, and in the Gulf Council meeting at the end of August, they sent that back for them to recalibrate according to the old rule, so that we could get a few days in October. So they gave us the 14 days, October 1st through the 14th, in federal waters.
Well, wouldn't it have been better if they'd given you weekends like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe given us 4 weekends, instead of doing it with 15 days? Because most fishermen in the recreational, like myself and others, well, not necessarily me, but most working people can't fish any days except Saturday and Sunday. And of course, that's the days that you want to run, and you'll barely be able to get enough people to take a boat out, I imagine, during the middle of the week.
Well, I'm hoping that with the head boats and charter boats here, that they will be able to go ahead and book, and we are booking pretty well. We're not full, but we are booking pretty well for those 14 days. But we did ask to have the fall season, a weekend season, like a 3-day weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so that more days would be available for the private anglers. But but we had, you know, opposition to that. You know, some folks have, like the Destin Rodeo, they have their rodeo
October.
throughout October, so they
month.
want consecutive days in
Sure.
Destin. And so we just, you know, we lost that battle. So we have consecutive days, and so we're going to do the best with what we've got.
Well, one of the things I want people to understand is what a champion you are for fishing in Florida, in the Gulf, and how much time and effort you spend going to these meetings to represent us, because you need some true recognition for that. If I had a wreath to put on you right now, we'd put a wreath on you.
Well, thank you. But, you know, it's, I think that it's an important issue for the Gulf. And I think it's an important issue for tourism. Folks are attracted to Florida because it is, you know, named the fishing capital of the world. And I just, I think that it's important that people have the ability, the opportunity to go out and fish when they get here, and if that's what they're looking for. And we have, you know, and I think that it helps with our economic development in the area, because it's something that the private anglers that are moving in with new businesses, they say, well, this is a perk for this county.
Well, you know, my metaphor has always been this: when you stand on the sand at Panama City Beach, you're standing in the center of the world's greatest fishing compass. To the south, the Gulf of Mexico, that's got a never-ending smorgasbord of different species all year long. When you go east and west, you have all of the bays that provide speckled trout, redfish, flounder, all those things. And then you go north, have some of the finest bass fishing, brim fishing, and other freshwater fishing there is to be had. So we truly are in the middle of this compass. One question I forgot to ask you about is, what is the last day that the Lady Anderson will be running?
We have, we're cruising 3 days, 3 evenings next week. So the last cruise will be a gospel music cruise, which is booked. And the gospel music cruise is booked on next Thursday, the 26th, and the dinner and dance cruise is booked on Wednesday. But we had so many folks trying to get on some of the last cruises that were already open to the public that we scheduled an additional cruise on Tuesday night. So we will have a dinner and dance cruise this coming Tuesday night.
Well, I'm sure it'll be in your thoughts when you see this beautiful ship sailing out for the last time.
Yes, it's 40 years of hard work, but it's been great, you know, just being able to watch folks get married on the boat, celebrate anniversaries and weddings and sprinkled ashes. Yes, we've done that too. We've had family reunions and high school proms and all sorts of fun things. So we've seen a lot of folks enjoy themselves. But my husband Ken, you know, he runs the boat, and he does other things, of course, you know, with the other boats that we have here, the other businesses, and it was just time, you know, for him to step back, and so for personal reasons we did that.
Thank you so much for being my guest.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
You're always in good hands and friendly people here at Captain Anderson's Marina, and of course with the new restaurant, the Marina Cantina. They can get fine dinners and
yes, they can.
And adult beverages.
Adult beverages, yes.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute, and we're going to have some fishing on the Captain Anderson when we come back to wrap up the show.
Okay.
Meet Henson Hindenburg, king of the road at Baytown Tire, 2609 West 15th Street, just before the curve. For 20 years, he's taken care of your cars, trucks, and commercial vehicles. Baytown Tire carries tires including Michelin, Yokohama, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal. A new set gets free rotation every 6 months. Alignment is done on the latest digital equipment, and his diagnostic can read all your computer info for proper repairs. All his service folks are ASE certified. Give him a call today at 873-8900.
The Captain Anderson makes fishing a breeze. There's a galley on board, and your comfortable trip is all-inclusive. Rod, reel, tackle, bait, and your fishing license. The traditional all-day trip from 7 to 5 p.m. Come aboard the Captain Anderson for a relaxing day of bottom fishing. There's plenty of room, so bring the whole family. It's a whopping big adventure, and that's no fishtail. The Captain Anderson is located at Captain Anderson's Marina, where the fish are always biting and the kids are always smiling. Please call for cruise schedules.
When was the last time you took a few minutes out of your busy schedule to enjoy the simple things? The wide open spaces, the uncharted territory, the moments that seem to stick with you for a lifetime. Well, what are you waiting for? Half hitch. Get out there.
How will the new healthcare regulations affect you? Call Mike Nichols at Nichols & Associates, your local Florida Blue agency for the answers. Stop by today or call 747-0288.
Need a storage shed, pole barn, or garage? Who do you call? Two-time site-built buildings. They come completely prefabbed with aluminum siding and 3/4-inch floors. Constructed on your property by James McConnell and his crew. With no middleman, his prices is lower, and with easy payment terms. Here's my 12-foot by 20-foot shed that went through a 3-foot gate and anchored like a mobile home. He's been building here for 15 years. See the samples at 3822 Highway 98 in Springfield, and call today at 850-257-5729. When you want your lawn to go from this to this, you need to call Leroy Dennis and his helper Bill Grimes. They can do it in one day. Not only that, but Leroy offers discounts to seniors and active and former military. He and his partner can handle any commercial jobs. Don't wait to give them a call at 358-6696. Guess what? If you aren't satisfied, I'll pay for it myself. Don't delay. Call the experts now and look great tomorrow. All right, we told you that we're down here at Captain Anderson's Marina. We've been here with Pam Anderson today, and Captain Anderson's was taking reservations right now for the October 1st red snapper season. Call them, be sure you're on board. And of course, one of the main things we're going to be doing is, again, saying goodbye to the Lady Anderson. So stay tuned, and we'll be back with Captain Anderson Fishing. Well, good morning, Captain Ray Brown.
Good morning there, Jim. How are you doing today?
It's great. Don't you love seeing this boat completely filled up?
Yes, sir. I sure do. It's about time.
It's been a long time, isn't it?
A long time.
And tell these folks that the water out here is as blue.
It is blue, and I have not seen no sign of no kind of oil. No.
Absolutely no oil. Please, folks, come down here and go fishing.
That's right.
And I was just talking to Steve. He said y'all caught a big tuna the other day.
Yes, sir, sure did.
How big was it?
About 25 pounds, 25
wow.
pounds. Like
yeah, he said it was over about 35.
Oh, was it?
Well, of course, fishermen lie sometimes.
Sometimes they do. They sure do.
Well, I don't. You know I don't. I never do. You don't.
I'm trying to tell the truth.
I know it. Well, it sure is good to see you, and this is, of course, opening day of red snapper season.
Yes, sir. I'm glad it's here.
Yeah, man, we've been waiting a long time.
Well, too long.
We've been throwing them back.
Oh, my goodness. I wish you could have been on here several trips. We've been throwing them back 18 to 25 pounds.
The most terrible thing is when I went with the Wounded Warriors on that trip.
Yes.
And those poor guys just were crying because they had to throw back one after another.
I can only imagine.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we got a perfect day today.
Yes, sir. Beautiful. A little bit of a roll out of the south, but I think we're going to make it about a 2 foot at the most.
Sure looking good.
Yes, sir.
It's good to see you.
Yes, sir. See you too.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's go, folks. Drop them down. Then when you hit that bottom, bring them back up off the bottom.
We're on our first drop.
On the bottom, you'll get tangled.
There we go. Drop them down. Opening day of red snapper season here in the Gulf. There's a hookup right now. There's another one. Double hookups right here. There's another one. Got some fish coming. Got loaded poles coming. All the way up and down the side.
Yeah, don't get some of these big beeliners, save them big beeliners. We don't throw them back. They're good.
We're out here on the Captain Anderson, Captain Ray Brown at the wheel. There's a snapper. Looks to be go close. Red snapper coming up.
How can we know we get them?
There's a beeliner. Somebody got a good fish right here in front of us. Oh, double. One of those will keep, one will go back. This looks like a pretty good one coming up here. Man, we're on a honey hole. I think I see my buddy Mel pulling one in down there. Yep, he's got a snapper. I'm not sure it's going to keep.
I don't know what this tie's doing. I don't know what it's doing yet. I'm going to have to figure it out. So, big thing.
All right, snappers, go.
We got a man on here with a camera now. He's
Man, here's a nice
There
one.
he is,
Yes, sir. Now that is a sow. Here's some over here coming in. I can't hardly keep up with them. They're coming so fast. Some nice beeliners.
Having a good time.
Get them in there, Mac.
Hey, Mac. Yeah. You want one of these nice ones?
yeah, that'll be fine.
That's the good eating size right there. I mean, you got this. You ain't got none yet.
There's a bunch of fish.
Hey, there's a big one.
Don, who caught this big red grouper?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
What's your name?
Juan Henderson.
Juan
Yes.
Henderson.
That's me.
Well, you did a pretty good job. Is that the only fish you caught?
No, caught a couple of more.
Oh, good. Big ones like
Put it
that?
out on the snapper. 2 beeliners.
Wow. I get a better look at your fish here, and they're treating it like dirt here, throwing it on the ground.
Well, they're using it as a stumbling block.
Ah, there you go. There you go. There you go. I gotta take a picture. Oh, come on now. Show us respect. Yes. That's one of the biggest red groupers I've seen.
Just take a look at these fish. They're hanging like that all the way down. There's absolutely nobody on the boat that didn't have a limit of snapper.
I ain't got to wait.
Along with lots of big,
It's nice seeing you, man.
thank you, lots of big beeliners. You can see some grouper hanging in there. And black snappers. What a trip for June 1st, 2010 to open up the red snapper season. Just take a look. As far as you can see down the boat, there's nothing but snappers, the endangered species in the Gulf of Mexico. That's according to the king crab. Well, again, thanks for watching, folks, and we're glad we had Pam Anderson on here today. And all we can say is tight lines. Tune in next Saturday for Jim Wilson's FNN Fishing News Network.